Hello everybody, I'm Dragon Tamer R, and welcome to today's speed paint. It's day 24 of Monster March, and the theme is Fairy. For this one, I'll be making one of the main characters for my story. She is one of the most important characters in this world's history. As a side note, stay tuned to the end of the video for some channel plans for the next few months. And with that out of the way, let's get into the video. Here is the model I'll be using. She is a Fae named Midnight, and next in line to rule the Fae Kingdom. And when I finish writing the story, much of it will be from her perspective. In this world, every Fae is born under a certain element of magic, inherited from one of their parents, unless they are born during a full moon. If this happens, they will always have the shadow element. Midnight and her mother Dusk were born this way. Dusk had a twin sister named Dawn, who was born under the light element. Dawn had the gift of foresight. This was unique to the royal family, but had not been seen since the goddess left after the Dragon Wars. Dawn only ever received one message from the goddess. Darkness is returning. Only two can stand against it, a son of fire and a daughter of shadows. Fire can burn away the darkness, and shadows can guide the new world. It was assumed that Dusk was the daughter of shadows, so she dedicated herself to studying dark magic, against the will of the Elder Council. This was in the hopes that she could discover its weakness. She would travel to the Ashlands with an Earth Fae named Slate, and the two would steal the Book of Shadows, and Dusk would begin to study it. Unbeknownst to her, the book held the consciousness of the shadow dragon Darakon, whose words would corrupt her mind and his magic her soul. Later she and Slate would have Midnight, and Dusk would realize that Midnight was the daughter of shadows, and under Darakon's influence would try to take her to the Dark World. Her family tried to stop her. They were able to prevent her from taking Midnight, but Dawn was the only one who survived. Dawn would go on to raise Midnight as her own, but would never go on to tell her of her vision or of what her mother had done. By the time Midnight became an adult, the human kingdom began an inquisition against magic users. Midnight would become captured and taken to a dungeon in the human capital. It was there she met a human named James. James had also been captured because he was part of a group of rebels called the Wolf Pack. They would escape and join the Wolf Pack together, and from there, their lifelong journey of self-discovery, growth, and romance would begin. I'm going to stop telling her story here because if I gave the full story, it would probably take a few days, and I don't want to spoil like all of it. So from here, I'll just explain the specific things in the painting. Pegasus behind her is named Nightmare. Long ago, every Fae had a Pegasus that would come to them and form a lifelong bond. But when the goddess left, so did they. Nightmare is the first one to have been seen in centuries. The scene is set at night, because as a shadow fae, midnight gains magic through the moon. The gem on her neck is called a bonding stone. When two Fae marry, they exchange these stones and imbue them with some of their own power. This allows them to transfer their essence into the stone and boost the power of the other. As a human, James was able to do this, until a specific moment when he held the power of the fire dragon Solar, and when Midnight needed him most. The stone was unable to maintain this connection for long, however, and cracked. But it gained its fiery glow, proving the two were now finally bonded. Her sword and shield are two of the most powerful relics in all of Glencina. Before the other races were born, the humans rebelled against the goddess. Their leader crafted a shield of crystallized dark magic and a sword of crystallized light magic. The shield could absorb any magic attack, and the sword could redirect it. Being the goddess's almost magic-given life, it held the potential to slay her. Midnight would use this in the final battle against Darkon. The roses in her armor represent two things. Her mother and aunt are symbolized by black and white roses respectively, and the second is how Midnight faces many hardships in life, represented by the thorns, but is still able to find beauty in her own life, shown by the roses. She does not wear any boots because Fae believe that wearing boots or shoes cuts them from their connection to the earth. And with that, we have Midnight and Nightmare. Tell me what you think and leave your suggestions for more in the comments below. So, due to some real life stuff, I won't be able to finish Monster March, and I won't be able to upload as often for a while. Sorry if you were looking forward to that, but it should only be for like a few months. And with that, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and remember, never stop improving.